Welcome to the C&C Connection, an all-in-one podcast that touches upon a variety of topics ranging from sports to TV shows. Here are your hosts, the non-experts on everything, Colin and Corey.
Welcome to the C&C Connection. Colin and Corey here. Colin and NYC, the Big Apple, and Corey and Agawam. Today we're talking Hell on Wheels, Season 2, Episode 3 of Bohannon.
What was the name of the episode?
Yeah, the episode. Fuck you. You know what? I was like, I'm not going to look it up this week. It doesn't matter, but now you fucking put me on the spot, and I have to look up the episode name.
I just figured you already knew.
You son of a... All right. Well, I'm looking that up. Initial thoughts. This one was called Slaughterhouse, by the way.
I don't know. It was an okay episode, like usual.
Right.
I was a little disappointed that it didn't bring up some things like the saber-tooth tiger head again.
And if you were listening last week, the saber-tooth tigers were in North America and Canada. So I guess that is North America. But yeah, so I guess I was wrong. I thought they were more European and African animals, but I guess they were mostly the opposite side of the world. So
yeah, get it right, man.
Little history lesson. But I definitely don't think their skulls are just floating around on a riverbank somewhere.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, I like this episode. I thought it was probably the best of the season, but again, I don't think that's saying much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like this. I actually like the storyline with that they proposed with the McGinnis brothers. I just thought it's like an actual intriguing storyline. It's just not Bohannon wandering around without a purpose. I feel like, we were talking about this last night and we kind of disagreed. I thought one of the reasons we've been trying to figure out what's wrong with this show. What are the main reasons that the show isn't that good? And I proposed one of the reasons is that Bohannon doesn't really have a rival. And you said the Swede is his rival.
Was his rival.
But I never felt like. I feel like to have a good antagonist, the antagonist needs to be able to beat Bohannon, and I never felt like that could ever happen with the Swede.
Well, I think you're wrong.
He was too goofy. Too
goofy?
Yeah.
He was a badass in the other season.
What did he do that was badass?
He was he ruled Hell on Wheels with an iron fist.
I don't think so. People were dying all the time.
Yeah. Because the Swede killed him.
I don't even know if the Swede killed anybody.
No, but he was in control.
Agreed to disagree.
He was the law.
He didn't enforce it though. Bohannon just came and
he did.
Made everything.
He made Bohannon and Common fight. That was all the Swede.
Yeah, I guess.
He was. I mean, that's not just the one thing, but he was doing a bunch of stuff. I can't remember them all right now.
I don't think so.
That he did. It's a fact.
It's definitely not a fact. Let's talk. But I don't know.
Why don't we just go into the scenes?
The scenes.
Go through the show.
Well, we had a weird cold opening with the butcher feeding the pigs a bunch of guts with the Swede, and they have a talk. And I'm not really sure what they were talking about, which is appears to be the consistent. That's what the Swede just does. He just has all these weird conversations with people this season. It seems like
part of it is that he's hard to understand.
Yeah,
and that language he uses is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Not just his accent, but just the word vocabulary he uses. So
right.
But basically, I think it was just trying to get across that the butcher was friends with the guy who killed the whore.
Yeah, apparently he was the foreman, which doesn't sit well with a lot of people because he was the man in charge.
Right, he was responsible for getting the railroad built.
Yeah, so apparently Common killed the foreskin of Hell on Wheels, and that doesn't sit well with people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wow, dead air. This isn't good.
What? Just keep going through the...
Well, I mean, is that all we have to talk about for that scene?
I don't see what else we would have to talk about.
Yeah. So basically, moving on along with the storyline, Durant wants Common to watch Bohannon while Bohannon is ruling the camp. So it's almost like he wants Common to be Bohannon's guardian angel, and I don't think that Bohannon needs a guardian angel because he's fucking Bohannon, you know?
Like angels in the outfield?
No, not like angels in the outfield.
I saw it more as Common made a little comment like, is this about a girl? Because I think Bohannon and Lily Bell have a little, I don't know.
Really? What gave you that idea?
And I don't think Durant wants that to happen. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's both things for sure. I mean, Durant definitely has some feelings for Lily Bell apparently because they've been sleeping together. I mean, I still want to know what the deal between them is. Like, I feel like I missed something. Again, it seemed like there's a lot of stuff happened between the two seasons, and like with Common rising to this power, and something with Lily Bell and Durant, like, you know. And apparently the McGinnis brothers are almost running they have a lot. Like at the end of the last season, they didn't have anything. They really, and they led their revolt against the Swede, and now they're almost like they have a bigger say in the camp, you know.
Well, they're doing basically the Swede's job, where the Swede last season was running security and getting paid by everyone, aka badass.
Right.
Then, just trying to add more points to my argument about the Swede.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're just doing that. They're getting paid by all the businesses running protection, which they're really not doing at all. But
right.
Then I don't want to get into the next part. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. It just seemed like, I mean, how much time really did it say months or something? How much time has passed since season 1 to season 2?
I think it's just something we have to accept. It's hell on wheels, and they're going to do things.
I know. It annoys me.
Aren't going to make all that much sense.
Yeah.
And they're going to assume that we know.
Okay. I don't know. I know we have to accept it. It's just it annoys me. So basically, everyone in town thinks it's the McGinnis brothers because was it Mickey McGinnis who was bragging to all the prostitutes, his prostitute girlfriend, that like it was him. He was like saying that it was all him that killed the foreman and the killer of all or not all the prostitutes, just the prostitute.
Yeah, I don't know what their names are, but it was the one with the mustache.
I'm gonna say Mickey because that's the name I do know.
Well, that doesn't really. That just means you have a 50% chance of getting it right.
And I can live with those odds. So basically, everyone in town is pissed off, like I said, about the foreman, and then they decided to go after the McGinnis brothers. And they go to, I don't know. I guess they all riot again. Apparently, that's what you do in Hell on Wheels. That's what they say in Bohannon. That's what you do in Hell on Wheels is you get a posse together and you just go take care of business. So they chain him up in this slaughterhouse, and it looks like they're about to torture him.
Yeah, they're definitely about to kill him. They got the whole German gang ready to take down the two Irish boys, and somehow Bohannon and Common show up.
Well, Durant finds out about it. I think someone comes and I forget who comes and tells them that something's going down, and he's like, Common and Bohannon need to go do it. And Common, it was kind of a weird scene where like Bohannon's like, I'm gonna go in the front, and he's like, no, I'm going in the front. So Common's kind of overplaying his card. I feel like he feels like he's in charge now.
He's just being typical Common.
Typical Common. So Bohannon, he's like, whatever, I'll just go in the back. Who gives a shit? And this is a weird scene when Common enters, and he's like, yeah, you better put that down. They're like, well, there's like 3 of us and 1 of you. And the Bohannon comes from the back, and they're like, well, who are you? And he's like, you know my name. Say my name. Or he tells Common to say his name, and Common's like, no, I'm not going to say it. And I felt like,
yeah, that was pretty funny, actually.
You're ruining my entrance, man. You're stealing my thunder. But and then they have a little shootout. I don't think anyone dies. He shot one guy in the arm and another in the leg, right?
Bohannon shoots someone and Common shoots someone. So yeah. And they just rescue the Irish boy, and that's pretty much it. And they put him They lock them up in a train car.
In a train car, which is apparently their prison, because that's where they lock people up in Hell on Wheels. But apparently, Durant wants someone dead for the crime, so he can settle settle everyone down. And apparently, the McGinnis brothers are the prime candidate, or the prime suspect, I should say, not candidate, because they're not voting. This prime suspect in this murder case, and they want to hang both of them. Or no, he wants to save one of them because one of them actually works for him.
Yeah.
But Lily Bell, having paid Common, was it her who paid Common or Ava?
She did.
Yeah, Lily Bell paid Common. She feels guilty because she knows it's Common the murderer and not McGinnis brothers.
Well, technically, she practically is the murderer.
Yeah. Which leads to an interesting little discussion that her and Durant have later on. But before that, she goes up to Common and asks him to, save the McGinnis brothers somehow. And she's like, well, you're the one who murdered him. And he's like, no. Well, you're the one who hired me, so it's basically you, like you just said.
I don't think he ever actually took the money from her.
I thought he did.
Maybe she paid him later, but I know it was pretty much just for
Ava, right?
His GF.
His GF. I mean, and then she tries to get Bohannon on board, and Bohannon's like, I don't give a shit. I'm Bohannon, I got my own things to do.
Of course.
Which we don't really know. Like, he doesn't really do anything aside from this storyline, so I don't know what else he has to do,
I mean, he is like the foreman now.
You know what? I just figured out what I meant by Bohannon settles things. Remember when, right in the beginning episode where they all start going, hey, you stole our payroll.
Yep.
He basically settles everyone down by saying, it's not fair that I'm in charge, but it's the way it is. How about this guy's in charge instead of me? So, that's what I meant.
Oh.
I know we were all wondering. But going back to where we were talking before,
are you eating right now?
No. I'm not eating.
Oh.
I'm chewing gum, but I'm not eating. Let's see. Now, you broke my train of thought.
Oh, well.
So, yeah. Lily and Durant have a little exchange when she says that she was the one who hired him. Well, first she tries getting away with it because she's like, well, listen, you just don't know if they're innocent or not. And he's like, I'm pretty sure. And she's like, well, it was me who hired them. But she won't give up the name, and she's like, and he's mad at her. And this is the first time he's really, like, blown up at her, Because usually he's always, like, been real nice and, like, almost manipulative with her. But he's never actually, like, showed his true colors. And he kind of does here.
Yeah, you initially I thought, like, there's no way that he's going to get... I didn't know if he was going to get mad. But, like, I thought there was no chance that he was going to, like, hang her or anything. But when he got that pissed off, I thought there was a chance.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think he would hang her, but...
No, but it was worse than I thought it would be.
Let's talk briefly about the Reverend storyline. I don't know why we need to talk about it, but it's definitely it's becoming a big part of the show. And I just don't know what to think about it. It just seems out there,
Yeah, I don't. I guess it's not even like the Reverend storyline. It's the Reverend, his daughter, and
the
Indian Joseph, whatever his name is, and it's just not interesting at all.
Yeah, I get the whole Reverend thing. They keep bashing our head over with it, with the whole like, oh, he's in such a sinful place that he's losing his grip with his faith or whatever.
He's a drunk.
Insanity, yeah. But we get it. It's been done before, I mean, what was it? Was that a Blazing Saddles where he's like, where the Reverend's like, there is no God or something like that? Do you remember that part?
I can't remember. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, I think it was Blazing Saddles. I mean, it's just a common Western thing where you have like a reverend who's just not very reverendish. Is that a word? Pious, I guess is the word. I mean, we've seen it before. I don't really know where it's going with it. Obviously, the Indian, I feel like, can be an interesting character because he's, between the Indians and the white people. But I feel like they're misplaying it with a cheap love story that, it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet type thing where, like, the forbidden love. It's like, we get it.
I love your daughter.
It's been done before. Don't spend so much time on it or come up with something more interesting. Move past it is what I want to say.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just this episode.
It's been there the entire season. Just
Not as much though.
No, it was definitely really big this episode. But going back to McGinnis' storyline, which is pretty much the driving force of the episode, basically, how did they free the McGinnis brothers? They just decided to let them go, right?
Yeah, they realize it's not them, so Durant
Decides to just let them go, and
Lily Bell asks Bohannon to do it, and he's like, I'll let him go, but I'm pretty sure it'll be more merciful to hang him than to let the Krauts have their way with him, you know?
Exactly, yep.
But then Bohannon tries to fix the situation by telling the Kraut to leave. Or I shouldn't say the Kraut. Is that racist? Well, that's what they call him in the show. So I'm going to call him that. And I guess he does decide to leave, which I'm kind of disappointed in because I felt like this guy could have been a cool antagonist. He seemed like just a cool character because he's a butcher. He's kind of reminds me of the butcher from Boardwalk Empire. Just like this badass guy who's good with knives and cutting animals.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
Kind of like in Gangs of New York too. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I have not. I've been meaning to for a while.
It's a good movie. You should check that out. But getting back to what I was talking about, the Kraut decides to leave. Again, I'm disappointed with that, and then they kind of just tie up all the loose ends with this episode when they have the McGinnis brothers go in and they both murder him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool scene, but I felt like this could have been played out more. You know?
Yeah, the big emotional part of it was this guy was he lied about killing the other guy because one of the Irish brothers lied about it because he wanted to feel like he did something, and now he gets to do it. But I mean, to me, it was a little, I don't know. I didn't really care that much about it, but
yeah, the
it was
payoff
still
wasn't-
okay.
I think that they didn't really build it up enough for me to have a big enough payoff with it. I think it's maybe that's another problem with the show. Like I said, the payoffs aren't well done. They don't build it up enough.
Yeah.
So going forward, it looks like they're gonna try to cross the river and into Sioux territory?
Yeah, they're making a big bridge, and they're going to be harassed all along the way.
Yep. So
And it's gonna be Bohannon's job to deal with the Indians.
So these episodes are gonna be fucking crazy and good, right?
We can only hope.
All right. Do you have anything else to say about this episode? Anything we missed? You think?
I'm really just still wondering about the saber-toothed tiger. Do you think it ever comes back up again?
No, definitely not.
That would be hilarious.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't even think of how they would bring it back in.
I don't know.
Overall rating, what would you give it out of 10?
I'd give it I'd give it a 6.
All right, I can agree with that. I'll give it a 6 too. All right, let's want to do our plugs. Want to do our plugs real quick?
Sure. You can follow us at the CC Connection on Twitter. You can subscribe to us on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Or you can subscribe to us on iTunes, search the C plus C Connection. And anything else I'm forgetting? Oh, you can email us at theccconnection@gmail.com.
You can call Colin's number.
You can leave
at
comments on our
413.
YouTube, and we'll talk about it.
You can call Colin's cell phone number. It's 413. We'll just put Brian's phone number on there.
Oh.
That'll get him on the show. All right.
Oh.
All right, guys. This is the CNC Connection signing off.
Bye, guys.